Hey, how's it going everybody? BurntBrian here, and in today's video I'm going to teach you how to make the best steak you've ever had via the sous vide method. So, let's start the show. Who don't know what sous vide cooking is, basically you are taking your meats, poultry, seafood, veggies, and you're cooking them inside of a hot water bath using an immersion cooker. The brand I'm using is an Innova Precision cooker. This one has Bluetooth capabilities. They have other models that have Wi-Fi. I honestly don't have a need for either one of those functions, but I do really enjoy this one. I don't have any reference to compare to other models, but I gotta say this one works perfectly and always holds that temperature exactly where you want it to be. I just finished cooking some rainbow carrots. That's going to be the side for my dinner this evening, but we'll talk about cooking veggies in another video. So when it comes to steaks, there are three different cuts. You've got select, choice, and prime. Now, prime being the granddaddy, really good steak. It means an inspector went in and certified that that steak just has great marbling. It is very tender. It's going to be a juicy, great steak. Typically, a lot of your prime steaks are going to go off to a lot of restaurants. They're going to go to the higher end places, and your grocery stores where you're going to find your select and your choice cuts. There are a lot of small mom and pop butchers that you can go to, as well as some large retailers like Whole Foods, where you can find some good prime cuts of meat. And that's actually where I went. I went to Whole Foods here in Gainesville, Florida, and I told the guy, look, I am looking for a nice 2-inch thick cut of a prime New York strip. And the guy said, hold on one second, let me go cut you one fresh, I'll be right back. So what I have here is just an absolutely beautiful, amazing, super duper thick cut of meat, and the marbling in this is absolutely beautiful. It just has a nice, very, very tenderness to it. Let's take a closer look at this. So this is a prime cut of beef, so really all it needs is some salt and pepper, but I'm also going to actually throw in a couple of herbs in there. Picked up this beef blend here. It's kind of nice because it gives you a little bit mix of your rosemary, your thyme. So now that you've got your beautiful steak seasoned just the way you want it, you're going to need either a freezer heavy-duty Ziploc bag, or the method I prefer, you're going to need a vacuum sealer and some vacuum seal bags. There are a lot of big name vacuum sealers out there, Food Saver being one of the most common known ones. I actually have a NutriChef. I think I paid about $50, $60 for it on Amazon. Thing works great for the purposes that I use it for. So you can just kind of play around with them, but you really can't go wrong with vacuum sealing food. Once you start playing around with it, it's just so convenient for meal prepping, and it's the ideal way, at least for me, when it comes to sous vide cooking. So I took one of these 11-inch wide rolls and I cut out a size that I think is going to be just about perfect for me. And what I like to do with all of these bags when I'm going to put my meat in there, you just kind of want to fold the edges around. This way the part that you're going to try to actually vacuum seal, it's not going to have any kind of juices or anything on there that might cause any kind of problems with giving you a proper seal on the bag. So then you're just going to take the meat here, and I'm actually going to do it, let's see, I guess I'll stick it in there like this. Oh yeah, and that fits just about perfectly. I want to try to make sure I squish it down in there without deforming the meat too much. I don't want to manhandle this beautiful cut of meat, but I want to make sure that we get it down to the bottom there and that there's not much room for any air to be stuck in. Looks like we're pretty good. So now I'm going to grab what I've got here of the beef blend here of thyme, rosemary, and or oregano. We'll throw a couple sprigs in there, and then I'll vacuum seal this bad boy up. right, so now we've got the meat vacuum sealed. We've got the Anova cooker is down to 130 degrees, right where I want it to be at. So I'm going to go ahead and put this into the hot water bath for approximately 2 hours. And then we're going to pull this thing out. It's going to need to be pan seared so that we can give it a really nice sort of crunchy, caramelized, textured outside. And it's just going to have a beautiful, perfectly cooked, medium rare steak in the middle. Man, my mouth is already watering. Let's go ahead and stick this into the bath. Alexa, set a timer for 2 hours.
2 hours, starting now.
And that's all you got to do. Really, it is that simple. That's one of the greatest things about cooking in this style is now for the next 2 hours I can sit back, relax. I've already got my sides done. So all I got to do is 30 minutes before it's time to pull this thing out and sear it. I'm going to go ahead and throw my veggies in, let those just get back up to a warm temperature. They're still going to maintain that same doneness yet slight firmness to it that I'm going to like. And it's going to be beautifully seasoned with all that butter and the salt and pepper that we put in there. Man, this thing is going to be absolutely amazing. Now I get to sit back, relax, enjoy a few beers, and if somebody just happens to show up, if I have a random stranger come, it doesn't matter. I can leave my steak sitting in that water for another half hour to an hour, maybe 2 hours longer if I want. Typically they say up to 4 hours. And it's still going to be a beautiful medium rare steak that's going to be juicy and tender. Once you start going beyond 4 hours, you might end up drying it out a little bit. It'll still be tender, still be medium rare. It just might lose some of its tenderness the longer you leave it in there. But, you know, really looking forward to trying this delicious steak and sharing with you guys what it looks like when you're all done. So it's time to sit back, relax, have a few beers, and we'll be back in 2 hours. Alright guys, so after 2 hours, our steak is now done. It is cooked all the way through to a perfect medium rare. So what we're doing right now is just making sure that we pat it completely dry all the way around so that when we go and try to sear this thing, you want it to be really dry on the outside so that it gives you a really nice, crisp exterior. That's what we're going for. Nice, perfectly cooked, medium rare interior with a nice, beautiful glazed, hard cooked outside. So let's go ahead and get the pan heated up and finish this thing off. I am ready to eat. To pair up nicely with this beautiful New York strip, we've got Mettler Family Vineyards Cabernet Sauvignon 2015. So let's go ahead and pop this thing open and pour a glass. Alright, so there you have it, a beautiful meal cooked in about 2.5 hours time total when you consider the veggies as well as the time it took to cook the meat sous vide and then pan sear it in some butter as well as the herbs that were cooked with it in the bag. So I've got my friend Aaron joining with me today, and I'm really looking forward to trying this, seeing how well it came out, and I'm looking forward to seeing what his response to this is as well. So let's go ahead and cut a little piece off of here and let's see what we think of this thing. Man, it looks so good. It's so tender. Oh man, this thing looks amazing. Cheers.
super tender.
Mm-hmm. I just, man, that flavor, it's so good. Incredibly tender. You get the crispy outside, so I'm definitely tasting that crispness there. The butter, they kind of seared in there with the herbs and that salt and pepper. And then you just get that beefy, yummy flavor of just that raw, yummy meat. Wow, I am blown away. It's really, really good. I also kind of want to see how these carrots turned out. This is my first time doing carrot sous vide. So again, these were cooked for 45 minutes at 183 degrees Fahrenheit, and then I put them in a bath with ice and water to chill them down, and then reheated them about half hour into the cooking process with the meat so that it would come out about the same time. So it looks like it's just got a really nice tenderness to it. All right.
So that's a nice bite to it.
Mm-hmm. Still firm. It's got that butter. All I really did was do salt and pepper with a little butter in here. And man, it's really tender, but yeah, again, it still has a little firmness, a little bite to it. Wow. Very, very good. Man, this is awesome. Again, guys, I can't tell you enough how awesome sous vide cooking is. It's just so impressive. It's a great way for you to prep throughout the week, to put several meals aside. You could have chicken, fish, seafood, beef, everything lined up throughout the week, as well as all your veggies just cooked on a Saturday or Sunday, and then you just reheat them. It takes about 30 minutes, and you've got fresh, good veggies like this as well. So anyway, definitely worth checking out. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Aaron, thanks so much for joining. Salute, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.